The water jet cutter and the tumbler were both going pretty much all day. It's loud. I can't take videos in here through there, so I'm kind of relegated to doing a video in the afternoon if I'm going to do one at all. Anyway, I've been working on the scales for this miniature knife. So this is like this is the blank that it starts out as. Yesterday, I think it might have been the last video, I'm not sure if you'll have seen it or not by now, but yesterday I was working on the scale, just getting a prototype, getting it kind of dialed in before I sort of start production of the 140 knives, so 140 pairs of scales, so it's 280 altogether, and basically spent all day on the milling machine and have it dialed in pretty much. So the fit is really good, and one of these is tumbled, one isn't, or one's half tumbled. Anyway, the fit is really good, and they're just being held in with friction there for just now. So what we're doing right now is that knife will go into this holder. So as it stands, it won't go into the holder. It almost fits, but part of the design is that I'm now going to take the water jet cutter, and if you can see this, I'm going to water jet cut up here, up there, and up there. Basically, kind of like a Y, and what that'll do is act like a weird pair of tweezers where it can kind of pinch like that. That is what I'm going to do on the water jet cutter just now. We've just got, I think I showed you in the last video, if you look at this. There's the fixture on there. It is bolted down, it is lined up, it is all the sort of stuff, it's all sort of ready to go. Damn that air compressor, holy moly. Anyway, going to put the 2/2 in here and cut it now. First of all, before I do that, is I'm gonna cut the shape. This is the shape we're gonna cut. That's it there. It's gonna come up here, up there, and back down here again. Because the aluminium fixture is sitting on another aluminium plate, and altogether it's 22 mil thick, I'm gonna cut that design into here first, and once I've cut that design in there, then I'll put each of these individual pieces in there so that the water jet doesn't so the jet of water doesn't come back up or anything like that. It just gets a clear run straight through to the water below. Now, as you know, or as you may know, we cut in the water jet cutter underwater, otherwise it's very noisy, very messy, etc, etc. So what I'll do is I'll just show you like the dry run that we do, how the nozzle will move, and then I'll do the cutting, and then I'll show you the result after that. Just looking at the slot there, it seems to be dead center, which is awesome. Really apprehensive that it was, well, really apprehensive, a little bit apprehensive that it was going to be off center, but the fact that the slot is on center on that sort of cut through piece means, so if I just rerun it again with the actual thing, wherever it's gone, the actual holder part on there, means it's going to be straight as well, or in line, which is awesome. So this here, that's like to hold down the I'll just show it to you, so trying to figure out the name of it. So yeah, this bit, the holder. So we'll split this in half, which we should be able to do here. So that's one of the pieces that's going to go on, and that's the other piece, that's the female side of it. And so we're just going to screw those down, or screw one of them down, cut it, put the other one on, screw it, cut it, and hopefully then test the knife. And if that goes well, that's really one of the last few hurdles to get over in getting this Tyke knife out and into the hands of the people who pre-ordered it. Actually, very quick little thing here. There's something I do in business, and I probably shouldn't, but I do, and that's like there's always a few things kind of left to chance, and you know, just kind of hope it works out. Generally, we do a lot of pre-orders and things, and I'll get a prototype made and, you know, get it done to a certain stage. And I'm just like, well, and there's certain parts of it where I'm like, oh, that bit'll probably be okay once we'll figure out how to do that part of it. We'll figure out how to do the right tumbling on that, so that, you know, X, Y, Z, whatever. There's little things. I can't think of any examples. Maybe like let me think. Yeah. So here's a good example, is the knife in question. So this little knife I showed you earlier, this little Tyke knife. I knew that, you know, we could CNC the bevels, you know, the main sort of bevel to make the actual blade, and I knew that we could tumble it out to get all the machining lines out, and so we wouldn't have to sand, you know, do the sort of old school, you know, belt sander grinding of blades, which is what most blades are done. It took a little bit of like testing and sort of head banging against the wall in between sort of doing the prototype and pre-order and actually the actual getting the thing out the door. There's lots of testing and stuff, and it's perhaps not a good example, but like I tend not to refine a process fully and make sure we can definitely 100% do it. I'm like 99% sure, and there's little issues that crop up. I don't know if it's good or bad. You know, it gets stuff out the door, it gets us moving, it gets us pushing our sort of limits and things, but it also gets us into a lot of trouble sometimes as well. What kind of trouble? I wonder. Here's a good example. Really bad example. A good example of a bad thing. Basically, this is the vibratory tumbler. So we got this, and oh, it's empty just now. We've not used it in a long time. We've got the centrifugal tumbler, and we thought, well, we'll get this vibratory one because you can fit so much more stuff in it. And so I priced tumbling my machinist's cheese grater, titanium cheese grater project for you know, fitting, I don't know, we thought like, oh, we'll fit 50 or 100 in there at one time, maybe even like 200 or more, and we could fit that many in there. The problem is that they would ding each other, they would hit into each other, the vibration would, and the solidness of the graters and slicers. So just in case you don't know what the grater or slicer looks like, damn, this is our box of scraps. It was here earlier, and it's all, oh, I know where it is. Sky was going through it. I don't know why she was going through it. I think she was trying to like make a good pen or pencil or something out of all the scraps. I think she managed to do it as well. So here we go. It's okay. This is the blank for it, but you get the idea. So that's the blank that it's cut out of. So anyway, it shows you that, you know, that there's a lot of weight to that. Well, weight for titanium is not that much, but there's a lot of mass to it. It's not a hollow part. So when one piece hits into the other piece, it really does make a bit of a dent. And so I ended up having to. Man, I look forward to getting a new air compressor. So anyway, so they would ding each other. So we tried. You know, we lowered them. We went down to like 40, 30. I think we went down to 20 or 25 parts in here, and they would just keep hitting each other. So we had to go back to this sort of centrifugal tumbler here, the sort of the original one. We've now got a big one that's 4 times the size, but at the time, a year and a half ago, we had to go for this one. It ended up being that it was just going to take so long. It was going to take like 6 or 8 weeks or something like that. So I ended up flying to America and got the guy, Ken, who I bought these machines from, got him to tumble for me because he had that bigger machine. They could do it in a week. We then had to go, the problem is we then had to do the final polish here. We ended up getting 50% scratches in the parts. We were trying to get a really good finish. 50% had to be redone. Sorry, I'm talking kind of fast because I've had a lot of coffee today. Shameful admission. So anyway, this was so 50% redo, a 50% redo rate for every like however many we put through there. So we, you know, we did 600 graters or something, and then of those we had to redo 300, and of those we had to do 150, and of those we had to do 75. Pretty much dead on. We got the redo rate down a little bit, but you know, so from going like, oh, we'll fit 50 or 100 in there and it'll be done pretty quickly, you know, in a week or so, we, you know, we still ended up having to do literally, you know, a month or two's work. And that doesn't sound much, but it was actually a lot, because my dad was over from Scotland at the time. My dad and I did day shift and night shift. He did like 16 hours through the night. I did 8 to 10 hours through the day. We had a bit of crossover, whatever it was. And it took, and we still took 6 to 8 weeks. So it took hundreds of hours from, yeah, so that's, so while there's a good thing, you know, we get stuff out the door, there's still that little issue of things go wrong, and when they go wrong, they go quite spectacularly wrong. But you know, we learn from them. Well, I hope we do. Don't you know, it is getting hard. So that little bit there, I almost screwed up. I almost started cutting and I realised, well, I've not laid it out right, because as you can see, the start hole is in the actual titanium. It's like below the titanium bit there pretty much. So that means there'll be an issue. I need to start away from the titanium and cut in. Otherwise, you know, you'll get a mark and a cut and stuff. So yeah, I think trying to multitask with filming and this isn't, I don't have the multitasking ability I thought I did. Just looking at that just now, looks like it's come out okay, actually. I'm running out of time, unfortunately, all that talking I did earlier. I'm gonna have to call it a day at that. So the next video hopefully will have, you know, whatever progress we make until then. I will of course leave you with a quote. It is by Seneca, and he said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Don't you know?